Hey, all right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakadash. Double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone who were to taught us his truth. Peace and love and blessings, salutations to your alchemists, part of the Bahasham, Dawadada, House of David. Salaki, I'm kind of stuffed up, but nevertheless, I wanted to go through the book of Job, the first chapter. And Job, the reason through the spirit, and it's the spirit that hit me to go through this read. You know, you few sincere sisters that follow, you few sincere brothers, the elect men out there, the kings. All right, a part of the Bayasha, the House of David. Follow along through the spirit, because I've been reading Job, and it's a lot of Job dealt with tribulations and things of that nature, but also too integrity. All right, it's one of the things that Job had, because one thing about integrity, when you're at your down moment, when you're at your decline moment, okay, and it happens to us, we all go through it. Don't try to act like you don't. Oh man, I'm always no. Okay, one thing with our forefather Job, and what you have to remember through the spirit, is that integrity is one of the things that's going to keep us with Yahawashi. And this first chapter of Job that I'm going to go through Job, the first chapter on up till basically the end through the spirit, and I'm gonna break it down through the spirit and probably Yahawashi the best way that I could and can. Okay, through the spirit. All right. So this is Job chapter 1, verse 1. So like, yeah. All right, so it says, oh man, so like, yeah, again. Okay, so it says, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was a perfect and upright, and it's like an upright, and one that feared Yahawah and eschewed evil. Now, when you look that word eschewed up, right, because it said he eschewed evil, it says he when you go back to the Hebrew word korah, all right, it says bring back, decline, depart, eschew, get, go, aside, grievous, lay away, put away, down, rebel, remove, revolt, to be sour, take away, turn aside, away, and withdraw, be without. Now, and this is like I said, look it up in the blue letter. Now, this is what the actual, because I just read the top part, but it says to turn aside, depart, to turn aside, in unto, to depart from way, avoid, to be removed. So when it says Job eschewed evil, he kept it far away from himself. To cause to turn aside, cause to depart, remove, take away, put away. That's why Job was an upright and a perfect man, because through the spirit, I mean, what makes you that way? Following the law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father. And don't think, hey, our forefather Job had status where he was at, okay? They depict these, they get these Bible depictions and stuff. Our forefather Job was a well-known man. It says to cause, to turn aside, to depart, remove, take away, dispose, to put aside, leave undone, retract, reject, abolish. So that's what eschewed means. So our forefather Job eschewed evil. Okay? Which evils is what? You're not following the laws, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father. Also, too, through the spirit, if it was anything to come around you or whatever the case may be, man, you pretty much, you put yourself away from it. Okay? There's plenty of scriptures, all right, that talk about how men of the Lord, especially in this time, you know what I'm saying, depart from that. If somebody's around you, or whatever the case may be, man, you eschew that. So it says, and there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and there, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all men of the east. So our forefather Job had status, and you might have been like that when you were younger. Before you came into the truth through the Spirit. You might have been like that. You might have had status in the streets. When you come into the truth and you start going through that fire, the Lord strips you down, but he builds you back up stronger. It says, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahawah in their hearts. Thus did Job continue. So Job even cared about his kids. I mean, we all got kids, through the Spirit. There's some brothers that don't. But at the end of the day, this is a man with integrity. Okay, because, hey, it's only a certain few that can serve the Lord. Being real, your kids and stuff like that, you don't know, they can sin before the Lord. But that's why I said he sacrificed according to the number of them all. He basically took care of their BS. Okay, so verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of Yahawah came to present themselves, which the sons of the Most High are the angels, okay, before the Lord. And Satan came also among them. And we know through the Spirit that Satan just specifically means adversary. You have the left hand, you have the right hand. Job talks about it when we get to the later chapters. All right, how the Most High works on the left hand and the right hand. Okay, so Satan came amongst the sons of the living power, Yahawah. Okay, and says, and the Lord and Yahawah said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahawah and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahawah said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, that feareth Yahawah and escheweth evil. So this is about the time where Job's going to be tested. And it's just the same thing with us. Hey, man, Yahawashi, his eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. So through the Spirit, the reason you being tempted, hey, you never know. You know what I'm saying? You could be, that spirit that you got in you could be a man, through the Spirit that the Lord seen no bad in. But I'm going to keep reading. And the Lord said, verse 9, then Satan answered Yahawah and said, doth Job fear Yahawah for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him and about his house? Because one thing through the Spirit, hey, brothers, you got protection. We got protection, So that's why Job, does he fear him from naught? Because the Lord was with Job. Not was, but is with Job. And this is all a great story, okay? That hedge through the Spirit, it's a fence, okay? When you look it up in Hebrew, it's a fence. Not a fence, but a fence, So that's why it says, has not thou made an hedge about him, because the Lord takes care of us. And about his house and about all that he hath on every side, thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And that's one thing through the Spirit. So like it, light went off. That's one thing through the spirit. Integrity. No matter what you're going through. Blessed is the man that goeth through temptation. For when he is tried, that's James, the 1st chapter, he shall, let me get it. I just had it in my head too. Salaki, I'm kind of messed up right now. But, like I said, Lord willing, this be edifying to the whole full of light. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for he is tried. When he is tried, he shall receive a crown of life, which the Most High shall give him. I've been wanting to get this video out all day. This for James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which Yahawah hath promised to them that love him. And in order to be the ones that love him, that integrity has to come into place. So it says, verse 11 or verse 12, verse 11, put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, meaning take all that shit away and watch what happens. And he will curse thee to thy face. This, like I said, this is when the integrity comes in. And Yahawah said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord, right? The presence of Yahawah, because at the end of the day, the Lord controls the left and the right hand, man. This is what we got to realize. Whatever power Esau has, whatever power this world has over this world, and while we're in it, guess what? This is, what do they call a USA under Satan's authority. So we got to remember that. But ultimately, the one that controls the left and the right hand side, see, these elites, they show that they control both sides, man. It's really Bahasham, man. It says, verse 13, and there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. They was having a time. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and Sabeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I am only escaped alone to tell thee. And that's what shit, hey, that's what happens sometimes. You be like, damn, yo, it just come out of left field. All right, the temptation, it come out of left field. You be like, yo, what the? Because you got to remember, the things that Job had was substance and things that were, able to sustain him and his family. So out of nowhere, this happens, and that's how the truth be. It says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another that said, the fire of Yahawah is fallen from heaven and have burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And that's what happens, man. I mean, think about it. I don't got to really too much expound on that. Like I said, this is the thing about integrity. When you're going through rough stuff, when stuff hits you from left field, right field, had the integrity to still serve Yahawashi. While he was yet speaking, there came also another. So this is left and right. And said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. So this hell was coming from left to right. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped to tell thee. Man, so you can only imagine, your kids, your substance, your camels. Our forefather Job was going through it. You know, hey man, through the spirit, not to even bring it up like that, but I had a daughter that passed while I was in the truth. Not while I was, but while I'm in the truth, you know? It says, then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of Yahawah. In all this Job sinned not, nor charge Yahawah foolishly. You know, so hey, through the spirit, you know, that's Job, the first chapter. You know, and like I said, I'll go through it through the spirit, the second chapter. You know what I'm saying? But it just shows integrity. Okay, and that's about it. Because like it says right here, it says Job's worship. It says, in all this Job sinned not, he kept his integrity, nor charge Yahawah foolishly. Because when you go in the later chapters, all right, Job understands that the Lord deals with the left and the right hand, but anything that happens is of the Most High. But you just got to go through it and get through it. It's a storm. All right? Shalom.